I am seated upon a velvet settee that once belonged to my babushka, the brocade now frayed like my last nerve, and I am trying to write this tale without crying into my ink pot, though the tears keep plopping upon the parchment and smearing the words Menlo College, Atherton into little black ponds of woe. Dear listener, if you have ever swallowed a spoonful of cold porridge that tasted of regret, you will understand why I must speak. If you have ever waited for a letter that never arrived, you will know the ache I carry. Please nod along if you have felt betrayed by a place that promised moonlight and handed you a broken flashlight instead. We are in this sorrow together, yes. I arrived on a September noon that smelled of eucalyptus and parental disappointment. The campus gate painted a smug cardinal swung open with a creak so theatrical it might as well have screamed abandon hope. My driver, Ivan, unloaded 3 monogrammed trunks and my emotional support peacock, Serafina, who immediately tried to fly back to the car. I should have interpreted her flapping as prophecy, but I was blinded by the brochure's promise of intimate seminars beneath California palms. Intimate, they said, palms, they said. What they did not say was that the palms were spider-webbed with floodlights that flickered like dying stars, and the intimacy was actually loneliness wearing a lace mask. Picture this. The dormitory they assigned Mehuls so narrow my silk skirts brushed both walls, coating themselves in a chalky residue of despair. The communal bathroom, 2 showerheads for 32 souls, the water cycling between glacial and molten every 7 seconds, so one's epidermis either froze into goose-bumped braille or blistered into scarlet sonnets. Why is this bad? Because hygiene is the smallest covenant a college makes with a body, and when that covenant shatters, the mind follows. I stood shivering, soap slipping from my fingers like my grasp on sanity, while a stranger's hair-long, black, ominously wet coiled around my ankle like a seaweed accusation. I whispered, this is not what I paid for, but the tiles only echoed, nobody cares, little countess. The cafeteria, sweet listener, brace thy tender stomach. Imagine a ballroom stripped of chandeliers, forced to wear fluorescent acne. The scent, boiled cardboard married to burnt sugar, a romance officiated by despair. I queued for 19 minutes, I counted. Time moves slower when hope is hemorrhaging, to receive a rectangle of pizza whose cheese had congealed into a skin akin to a sunburned librarian's elbow. The underside was soggy, yet the crust cracked like antique porcelain. How is that even scientifically possible? I tasted iron, probably the tray leaching its sorrow into the dough. Each chew produced a squeak, as though the pizza itself protested its own existence. Why does bad food wound more than hunger? Because it reminds you that whoever cooked it did not love you, and you are paying them $38,000 American per annum for the insult. I hid my tears behind a napkin, the napkin dissolved, and I imagined my soul doing likewise. And the electricity let us speak of darkness, literal and figurative. Every third night the power vanished like a fickle ghost. The first outage struck at 23:17 while I drafted a paper on Dostoevsky's Underground Man. How poetic, yes. The screen blinked to black, devouring 3 hours of analysis regarding alienation. I groped for my candlesticks. Yes, I travel with candlesticks. My ancestors did not flee revolution to tolerate blackout bingo. Down the hallway I drifted, a single flame throwing my shadow upon the walls like a tall, trembling accusation. Students were screaming not from fear, but from the deeper terror of being unseen. When a campus cannot keep electrons flowing, it confesses its own bankruptcy aloud. No Wi-Fi, no fan, no refrigeration for the insulin of the diabetic girl 2 doors down. Do you see the moral algebra? A blown fuse becomes a Lee.
Fee or death equation. I sat on the fire exit stairs cradling Serafina, who squawked, we are surplus, until dawn crept in ashamed of itself. Administrationa, the true Gothic villains.
Welcome back, dear travelers. I am here to walk you through what you can expect from the businesses that sit near Menlo College, Atherton. My goal is to help you avoid disappointment and to protect your hard-earned money so you can enjoy your visit with confidence. First, let us look at the retail and dining hub known as Town and Country Village. In general, the center suffers from chaotic parking and confusing layouts. Visitors often describe the experience as a maze where finding a spot feels like a treasure hunt and the signs do not give clear directions. This creates stress before you even step inside any shop. The shops themselves tend to be overpriced, and many of the items feel generic rather than special. The dining choices vary widely, but the common theme is that the food is average at a price that feels too high. Service can be slow during busy times, and the seating areas fill up quickly, making it hard to relax. The overall atmosphere is pleasant with greenery, but the practical problems of parking and high prices dominate the picture. Next, we turn to Serenity Day Spa. The spa concept promises relaxation, but the reality is that many guests feel the value does not match the cost. The most common complaint is that the quality of the massages feels average despite a premium price tag. Some visitors reported that the therapist assigned was different from the one they booked, and that the treatment felt harsh rather than soothing. The facilities show signs of neglect, with cluttered storage areas and inconsistent cleanliness in the bathrooms. As a result, the spa feels more like a place that could be improved rather than a true sanctuary. Now let us consider the Restaurant Orem, which carries a Michelin star. In general, the dining room suffers from overpricing and inconsistency in the food. Guests frequently mention that dishes arrive cold, that the flavors are bland, and that the presentation does not live up to the celebrated status. The service experience is also described as unfriendly and at times dismissive when concerns are raised. The ambience is cramped and noisy, far from the elegant setting that one would expect from a celebrated establishment. The pattern that emerges is a gap between reputation and everyday reality. Following that, we examine Café Zoe and its sister operation, Neighborhood Pizza Guy. The combined venue is known for its coffee and pizza, but in general the quality is inconsistent and the prices feel steep for what is delivered. Many customers note that drinks are lukewarm or burnt, and that the food often carries an excess of salt. Orders are sometimes prepared incorrectly, and the wait time can be long. The staff sometimes appear inexperienced, which leads to mistakes that frustrate regular patrons. The overall impression is that the establishment could benefit from better training and more reasonable pricing. The next stop is NOLA, which aims to bring New Orleans flavor to the Bay Area. In general, the restaurant struggles with authenticity and value. Reviewers repeatedly say that the dishes do not resemble true Cajun or Creole cooking, and that the portions are small while the bill is large. Service delays are common, and the ordering system that relies on a QR code adds confusion for diners who are not comfortable with technology. The drinks are occasionally praised, but the food frequently misses the mark, leaving guests to wonder if a trip to Louisiana would be a better choice. Turning to Goetz Brothers Sporting Goods, we find a pattern of poor customer service and pricing concerns. The store is often described as disorganized, and staff members can be unhelpful when a return or exchange is needed. A few visitors report uncomfortable encounters that hint at bias and disrespect. The pricing is viewed as high compared to similar outlets, and the turnaround time for online orders can extend to weeks without clear communication. Overall, the shop feels more like a hurdle than a convenient place for sports equipment.
Finally, we explore the refuge located in Menlo Park. In general, the eatery is criticized for high prices and food that does not justify the cost. Patrons often describe sandwiches that arrive quickly but appear to have been sitting under a heat lamp, resulting in dry meat and bland flavor. The fries can be decent, but the main protein frequently lacks moisture. Service quality varies, and the environment can be noisy with staff members engaged in unrelated conversations. The consensus is that the venue does not deliver the premium experience that its menu suggests. What should a traveler keep in mind when planning a visit to this area? First, expect parking to be a challenge at the larger shopping center and prepare for possible delays. Second, anticipate that many dining options may charge more than the quality warrants, so it is wise to check menus and recent feedback before committing to a meal. Third, be ready for service that may be slower than expected and for staff who might need more training. Fourth, consider alternative venues if you are looking for authentic regional cuisine or a truly relaxing spa experience. Based on these observations, I recommend a few practical steps. Arrive early or use alternative transportation to avoid the parking maze at the village. Look for smaller local cafes that have a reputation for consistent coffee and fresh food. If you are interested in a fine dining experience, call ahead to confirm reservation details. I was looking into crimes near Menlo College, Atherton, and the stores around there. They are like shiny traps, you know. They smile, they scan, and then your wallet is crying. First, the gift card game. Businesses near Menlo College. Atherton are like friendly cashiers who will happily hand you a stack of Home Depot cards when someone on the phone screams your mom needs bail money, buy these now. The tourist obeys, probably shaking, probably on FaceTime with the scammer the whole walk from campus to the store. Next prediction, the poor visitor mails the codes. The scammer gang races to the same plaza that same afternoon, fills carts with power tools, loads trucks, drives off before dinner. Victim figures it out at the hotel, collapses on the bed, cancels the rest of the California dream, flies home early, suitcase half full of shame. Cops later kick in some warehouse door in San Jose, find mountains of box drills, but the money is already crypto and gone, so the tourist just gets a case number and a sad email. Second, the food stamp laundering shops. Businesses near Menlo College, Atherton are like mom and pop markets that whisper we will trade your EBT for cash, 50 cents on the dollar, no questions. A curious tourist walks in for a bottle of water. A runner grabs their arm, says help me cash out my card, I will split the profit. Tourist thinks it is harmless charity, hands over the card, clerk swipes for $300 of fake groceries, slips the runner $150 in cash. Prediction bank flags the transaction. Account freezes while the kid is still sightseeing in Palo Alto. Vacation photos stop uploading. Parents scream over the phone about overdraft fees. Store owner probably padlocks the gate next month, reopens under